2,000 years ago, I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
The world has changed. None of us can go back. All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
I will be back here. I will be back here. And I will be back with vengeance.
I saw all these people die. I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
We will.
I'll do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Doing whatever it takes.
I like this one.
What's up, everyone? It is your boy Niner Sickness with another Niner Sickness episode. I apologize for the delay of the start. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're back on base. I have a great guest that I'm going to introduce to you guys. I've been wanting to get him on my show for quite a while now. He's doing his own thing. Many of you know who he is when you see him on camera. Great guy, great 49er fan. And we're going to talk about the game against the Kansas City Chiefs, the good, the bad, and the ugly right after this. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. We got our special guest, David McNiner. What's going on, brother? How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. You know, just it's a manic Monday. You know, not Victory Monday. It's kind of sad, but you know, we're going to get into that here in just a second, right?
Absolutely. We're definitely going to get into that. Let me go ahead and say hello to those that are already here. We got Jim. He says, what's up, Beto? And David McNiner, what's up, brother? Good to see you, Jimmy. We got Daniel Burry Sports. Highlights in the house. We got Luis Moreno in the house and many more. Don't be shy. Feel free to comment in the comments. Your comments will be looked at. David, thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for being part of the show, man. Appreciate you. So let me know what, let's just get right into it. What are your thoughts of Sunday's game?
It, 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 almost looked like we weren't prepared to play them.
Yeah, you can say that again.
And I mean, offensively, we did not look good. Yes, they have one of the better defenses in the league, but we did not look good. Brock Purdy had an off day. Pretty much everyone had an off day. We got to see, except for Kittle though. Kittle did his job. He did. And our defense, I think you said it earlier, 17 missed tackles, right?
Yep.
Our special teams can't tackle either, so this is like a team-wide issue that definitely needs to be addressed. But at this point, Andy Reid owns Kyle Shanahan. What else can you say? Right?
Yeah. That is the truth. I know a lot of Niner fans don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid own the Niners, but it is true. David, that's why I invited you onto my show, because I wanted to have someone that understood, yes, it's okay to be a great Niner fan. It's okay to be a fanatic Niner fan. It's okay to be kind of like a homer, per se, but you also got to acknowledge the truth. And until the Niners beat the Chiefs, they're pretty much own us. I mean, they beat us, the last 5 times now? 2 Super Bowls? Do you think it's a mentality thing with Kyle in its head that he's like, tries to do too much to try to beat Andy Reid, that he gets himself out of what he normally does, David?
Yes, Kyle has a bad habit of overthinking the situation. And when it comes down to it, we're fielding a good football team, even minus the guys that are injured. It's still a really good football team. And, if we would have played a better game yesterday, we would have probably come out with the W. A big issue this year has been, and I mean this year, not just this game, has been our red zone offense. We get down there against the Seahawks, we were 3 for 5 in touchdowns when we were down in the red zone. This time I think we made it once, right? We got 1 TD all game, kicked a couple field goals. I believe had a turnover.
Yep.
So it's like it just comes down to what's wrong with our red zone offense. Is CMC being gone? Is he 90% of our red zone offense? I mean, when it comes to the TDs being scored, it's not all him.
Yeah, I don't think it's CMC, bro. I think it's just the coaching. It's the offensive play calling. I think, to me, it's been too vanilla. What happened to all the jet sweeps that we're accustomed to last year? What happened to all the screens? I understand we don't have what's the name of that receiver that that was with us last year, number 3. He wasn't that great.
McLeod?
Yeah, Ray. He wasn't that good. But you got Jacob Cowing that you drafted in the 4th round. Why don't you use him in screens? He's a little gadget guy. He's a little guy that you dump him the ball and allow him to make plays. What happened to the yak plays? It seems like Kyle wants to go deep every opportunity he has. Go, 40 yards, 45 yards down the field. What's going on with the yak? Why did we get away what worked last year, in your opinion, David?
I think Kyle's in his own head, saying, all right, this is what people are expecting us to do, and we can't do that. And it works. Dink and dunk. I'm not against dink and dunk. I've never have been against it. It works. It gets us down the field. We're able to score points. We're able to keep our defense fresh. And it's just, it works. And having the ability to get a big play every now and again, yeah, that does help. But trying to go anywhere from 15 to 40 yards down the field every time you're throwing the ball, dropping back to pass as much as he has. This ain't Niner football we're seeing. Niner football is run the ball, dink and dunk. And then that sets up the bigger plays downfield, the big chunk plays, right?
Yes. We're known for the Yak Boys. Debo can get yards after and I understand CMC as well, but I understand CMC is not available, hasn't been available this year, but you got so many weapons. Unfortunately, we're going to talk about one weapon that we're not going to have for the rest of the year a little bit later on the show, but we do have a lot of weapons. You just got to put your best players in positions to make plays. Get the ball to Kittle. I understand about not dinking and dunking all the time, but keep defenses honest. Keep the defense honest. You can throw deep just to kind of keep the defense honest, but you got to see what the defense is showing you and what kind of scheme they're playing in. That you got to continue to run the ball. You got to continue to give those small passes, have the screens, the jet sweeps, the things that worked before, and be consistent. One thing that I've noticed with Kyle is that he's not consistent in the run game when he should be. I know sometimes they stack 8-9 players in the box. I see the game. I see the film afterwards. I understand logically why Kyle sometimes goes away from the run game because of what the defense is showing. But sometimes you just got to be persistent and run the ball so you can set up the play action. When they make you a one-dimensional team, it makes it that much harder, in my opinion, to exploit a defense. That defense of the Chiefs is a very good defense. They played us well. Now, I know somebody earlier said about how our offense is not keeping up with our defense. Our defense played well. I forgot who you were. I apologize. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Here we go. It was Luis Moreno. He says the defense was solid, but the offense did them no favors. I agree. The offense didn't do no favors, but I don't agree with the defense being solid. I don't think they were solid. I think they, like I mentioned earlier to Dave, and David mentioned earlier in the show, they had 17 missed tackles. 17 missed tackles. Fred Warner had an off day. And that's very unusual for Fred Warner. But you got to give the man a break. The man is always honest, doing his thing. Everybody has an off day. Brock Purdy had an off day we'll talk about in a few minutes. But I don't think the defense was solid at all. I think there were a lot of holes on the defense that allowed a bad offense of the Chiefs. The Chiefs are not known for their offense this year. They're just not. Now, we got some turnovers. There's some highlights in this. The young rookie, Malik Mustafa, that dude looked like he was getting fired from a cannon each and every play. It's like they had a cannon back there, and boom, he was getting fired. That guy was playing lights out. So there were a lot of key plays, but there were so many missed tackles. Bosa was doing his thing, but he couldn't get to Patrick Mahomes, and it just sucks. You can't give Patrick Mahomes any help. The defense could be that they were tired. Most likely, they probably were tired. I mean, you're driving, you're in field goal range, and then Brock Purdy throws a really ugly duck to the defender in the end zone. And now the defense has to defend again. It was one of those days where I don't know if psyche, not only in Kyle, but if Brock felt that he had to outplay Mahomes. You know, people say they don't feed into what the media says, these so-called experts, but players listen to these so-called experts. They want to shut them up. Do you think, in your opinion, David, do you think Brock Purdy just had a plain out bad day, or do you think he tried to do a little too much and it backstabbed, or however you want to put it, on him? Backfired. Thank you. That's the word. On him.
I 100% think he tried to do too much. There's been a couple times this season where it's like, just the defender's right there. You're not gonna get that pass off cleanly. Just eat it and take the sack. And he still tries to get the pass off to him. And it's not only him that tried to do too much, though. It was Kyle too. And the combination led to us only scoring 18 points. Say we do punch it in the end zone, those first, 2 field goals. Instead of kicking field goals, we punch it in the end zone. Now that changes the dynamic of how the game gets called on their side. And Mahomes hasn't been that good this year, right?
No, not the Mahomes that we're all accustomed of watching. And yet they're getting it done. And that defense is a big part of it.
Long time no see.
Listen, it's just, whenever there's a loss, there's a lot of things to pick at, right? There's a lot of things to what went wrong, what didn't go right. Is our season over? All these things start to kind of brew up on a loss. Now, the loss yesterday was terrible. I do believe that Brock Purdy tried to do a little too much. Kyle, it's in his head, whether people want to agree with me or not, it's in his head that he wants to beat Andy Reid. Everybody considers, and rightfully so, that Kyle is a top 3 head coach. But he's always going to be referred to. He's a good head coach, but he's not as good as Andy Reid. And sometimes you try it a little bit too much. Like, I'm going to quote Mike Tyson. Everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. And I think the Niners come out with a game plan, and then it doesn't work their way. They don't adjust accordingly, particularly with the Chiefs. And there was no point in that game where I felt confident that we were going to win. Everything it's like the wheels fell off, and they fell off at the wrong time. Do I think the season's over? No. Are we headed into hostile territory in the sense of, are we going to go through the valley because of an injury that took place? And I'm going to allow you to bring up that injury since you were a little bit more informed than me. Bring up the player, bring up the injury, and also I want to get your thoughts on how do we not fix this, but how do we try to put a Band-Aid on this to try to continue to play games this season, David?
So the player we're talking about is Brandon Ayuk, the guy we just signed to a very big contract. And, he wasn't having the greatest year so far. He did have one big game, but things are kind of trending on the up for him. And now his injury, it's pretty catastrophic. And I watched the replay a couple times, and something in my brain saying that was a dirty hit. The guy, he was getting tackled, and the guy literally went down low and was going for his knee. I can't say that's what the guy was thinking. I'm not in number 27's head, but that's what it looked like to me. I watched the replay several times. And then in watching the replay yesterday, I was like, the way the knee bent back and how his leg was moving after, I was just looking at that like, this is going to be worse than an ACL. I was thinking MCL, ACL, and that is the case at this point. They have confirmed via MRI that he has a torn MCL and ACL, and the doctor said possibly more.
Both of them?
Yes.
All right, let me rephrase this. So ACL and MCL?
And MCL. And the doctor said possibly more. As in there might not they might have to open them up and then assess at that point.
That's no bueno.
That's really not good, especially for a guy we just signed for 4 years beyond this year. Like, that contract hasn't even started yet.
What's up, my girl? I haven't
Hey,
seen
Mariah.
you,
What's
Mariah,
happening?
in a while. You've been doing your thing. This is not on you. This is me not going to your show. So my apologies for that. But I see you behind the scenes, girl. You are tearing it up, supporting and representing Las Vegas. Love what you do, Mariah. Continue to be you, man. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, bro. So we've now been informed about Brendan and you being out for the year, ACL and MCL, and maybe some more, depending on what more they're going to look into. What do the Niners do now? Do they go with what they have? Do they just give more reps to Ricky, a rookie receiver? Do they try to go out and get another receiver before the trade deadline? Too bad. I mean, injuries happen when they happen. It's not, you can't fix or wish an injury to happen at a certain time frame. Like, I heard people say, man, why couldn't you get hurt before Davante Adams got traded? I don't know how. I don't even know how to answer to that. Nobody wants to get hurt in the first place. It happens.
No, there is no answer to that. You know, I would never wish an injury like this on anyone.
Yeah.
And during the offseason drama, I was saying, let's just trade him. Like, you know, let's trade him. Let's get a player. Let him sign with another team, and it is what it is. You know, move on. But at this point, he's a 49er, and it's very sad to see an injury like this happen.
To
Randy
anyone,
Daytona-
particularly one of our players, yes.
Randy Daytona said, you know, glad we paid CMC and Ayuk all that money.
Yep.
Now, CMC will be back,
Oh, here
and
we
we're
go.
definitely missing the 2023 Offensive Player of the Year. We're definitely missing that. But Ayuk gone until 2026, that's a possibility at this point because of how bad his injury is. That's a possibility. We won't more than likely see him until at least mid-season next year if he comes back next year.
At the very least, yes. Look what's happening with Greenlaw. And Greenlaw was just an MCL. And Greenlaw hasn't even came back to the field yet. So that's a great possibility, David.
And, you know, it's kind of like when it comes to possibilities, the two best wide receivers have been taken off the market. You know, Amari Cooper and, you know, Davante Adams. There's a guy with the Giants, Slayton. He's got good size and speed, but he kind of has the dropsies.
Yeah, we
When it
don't
comes to
want
his
those.
hands. You know, I mean, the options that are available right now aren't that great. So plus, you know, we'll get them in, and they have to learn Kyle's system, right? So at this point, I think it's time to just move on with who we have.
Okay.
And, you know, maybe if they want to call up another wide receiver, all right, well, you just re-sign Tariq Owens. You know, you have a couple guys on the practice squad you can call up. Trent Taylor, you can call him up. No, he's definitely not a Brandon Ayuk. I'll say that right now. He's
Yeah,
definitely
amen
not.
to that.
But, you know, you have a couple internal options. And, I mean, like I believe someone in the chat actually said the Chiefs are really injured too. So they're missing Hollywood Brown and Rashid Rice. And then we were actually missing yesterday Debo Samuel and Juwan Jennings. And then part of the way through the game,
We were
there
missing
goes
all our
Ayuk.
players
We were missing
yesterday.
our top 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, let's keep it real.
So
We were missing everybody,
Yeah.
bro. Everybody. We missed our quarterback. We missed our offensive line couldn't do nothing. Trent Williams is hitting people, and really, you know, I don't agree with that. I understand that if somebody hits me in the head, the common thing to do is hit him back. But when you're wearing that captain's badge, You got to be that leader. Not to throw a curveball at you, David, which I did, and I apologize.
Well, that's something else that I was going to talk about. Is
What's up, Nino?
Trent Williams? The guy's getting up off the ground, and number 6 punches him in the helmet.
I saw that.
And quickly turns around to kind of see if he got caught. And Trent Williams stands up and retaliates, gets caught.
The second person always gets
6,
caught, bro.
Dude, number 6 didn't get, I think his name is Cook. He didn't even get kicked out of the game.
They didn't see it.
It's going to be, I want to see what's the NFL. What are you going to do about this? Look at what the guy did. Obviously, he needs to be punished. I need to see something. Our guy got thrown out. That guy did the same thing. So what's going to happen here?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to suspend. A lot of people have been asking whether Trent Williams might get suspended. I don't think he'll get suspended. But this is my thing. And listen, I come from a background of the gang violence, the if you do something to me, I do it back at you. But as I got older, and I think I matured with age. It's hard to do in the moment. I understand. A lot of emotions are running through your body during games like that. But when you wear the captain's patch, and maybe it's me, maybe I think too much of the captain's patch, but to me, leadership is to make decisions that are hard in hard situations. To me, a leader is be able to walk away from an offense like that and not hurt your team. And it's hard. I know it's easier said than done. I know it's easy to retaliate right after somebody does that to you, but that's why you are considered yourself a leader, to do the hard things. Otherwise, everybody will be wearing the captain's patch. I think that Trent Williams should have not retaliated, walked away. Now, it was towards the end of the game. We already got him beat, so him being suspended did not hurt us that much, but it gives a bad image to young kids watching football. These young kids that want to grow up and get older, to me, it's all about leadership. It's all about being an example. I understand it's hard in the heat of the moment. But David, I want to ask you, do you think that I'm over? And I want you to be honest. I don't have, my feelings are not going to get hurt by any shape, way, or form. Do you think that I am overreacting with this whole leadership thing? Do you think that he should have reacted the way he did because, Y, X, and Z? Or I want to get your true thoughts on him responding to that hit at the heat of the moment, knowing that he's a captain and he has people looking at him.
Well, I fully understand, me myself being from the streets, I fully understand his reaction to that situation. But him being a leader and in a captain's role, you can't do that. Get up and maybe push the guy one arm like 5 yards. Let him know you ain't doing that to me. But don't punch him, because punching him will get you in trouble. And then, yeah, they still might throw the flag, but they're not throwing him out of the game at that point. And he's got his point across to that player like, no, you're not doing that. Right?
Yep.
But leadership on this team in general has been kind of an issue, in my opinion. And it all starts with Kyle.
Yeah. Preach it, brother.
Look at him at the podium. We played like crap. We need to execute. Kyle say, I got beat by Andy Reid. Just say that. Say,
again,
I got outcoached. This is the stuff the fan base wants to see you say, because then we know you're realizing what's going on here. And he did. He got outcoached. Andy Reid came in with a game plan, and what he did was he adapted his game plan to what Kyle was doing, which is something that Kyle that doesn't seem to be what he does. He makes a game plan. He sticks with that game plan. He attacks he does that all game. And we need to adapt as we're going here. And the whole team having I can't say the whole team had an off day because George Kittle showed up. All right, he showed up. He played. He was our best offensive player on the day.
Dominic Pooney showed up.
Yep. Pooney did show up. I think how many sacks did they get? Did they get like what, 1 sack? I'm gonna have to look that up.
On Brock.
Yeah, I mean, I know they
I'll tell
hit.
you. I'll tell you in a minute.
They hit him, and that's kind of where that last interception came from, as he was being hit as he released the ball.
Oops, wrong.
So,
now
everyone's talking about it.
I got 2 phones, and then one of them I reset back to factory resetting. So a lot of my apps that I have on there are gone. So let me get my iPhone real quick. All right. So how many sacks did Brock Purdy get? He was sacked just 1 time. He was he 3 interceptions. He was rushed 8 times for 27 yards, but he only had 1 sack. So people want to blame the offensive line. I think the offensive line took care of business in this game. I mean, you only gave up 1 sack to Chris Jones and the gang. That's pretty. So, with that said, a lot of people blame Brock Purdy not able to have enough time to throw the ball to his receivers because of the pressure of the defense and the offensive line not holding up David. But here he only had 8 pressures and 1 sack. So do you think in this particular game it was more on Brock Purdy than his offensive line for the mistakes?
I really think the first interception he threw, that was 100% on him. The second one, I watched that and
it wasn't on Ronnie Bell. I'm sorry, I hate Ronnie Bell. I don't like him, but it wasn't on Ronnie Bell. Sorry, Randy, I can't agree.
I was like, what? Like, were you guys on the same page? I can't put that all on the wide receiver.
No.
But they obviously weren't on the same page, right? So I'm giving that a 50-50 because they weren't on the same page. The last one, he was being hit when he threw it. I can't say that's totally Brock's fault, but it is Brock's fault that he didn't eat that ball and take the sack.
Yes.
And live to play another down.
Come on, David. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Take the sack.
Yeah,
it sucks,
I'm
but it's
looking
better
at the
than
numbers,
interception.
and man, Patrick Mahomes was 16 for 27, 154 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And we can't win this game?
Yeah. Come on, David. Talk to me. Talk to me, David.
This is like, are you serious?
What's up, David
He
Corona?
did take off running 5 times, and he had like 39 yards off that. And we all saw like that there was a missed tackle against him on the sideline, and it's almost like the players are afraid to hit him because if they hit him, they know a flag's coming.
Oh, on that 40,000-yard rush running from Mahomes, yeah. It's gotten so bad with the league that players miss tackle because they're afraid of getting penalized. They're thinking too much.
Yep. And I got the replay going again. I just watched Cowan catch that long ball. Man, he just juked and lost that defensive back and put like 3 yards of space between him, turned around and caught the ball.
I like that kid. I like him. I want to see more of him now that we have the absence of Ayuk. And I hate to say this, that it's going to come in the expense of losing a player like Ayuk. And I pray for a speedy recovery. But when you face adversity and you're going through the valley, you got to find out what you're made of. This is the opportunity for Kyle, not by choice, but he's going to have to implement more Jacob Cowan and Ricky Parcell and believe these rookies can help him. Because what do we have? Let's be honest. Besides Kittle's a receiver, but he's a tight end. Let's keep him at the tight end position for a second. We have Debo. We have Juwan Jennings. The two top receivers. Who else do we have out there? Counting or whatever's number 18, the old receiver. He's okay. So you're really going to have to rely a lot on Ricky Parcell and Jacob and see what these kids are made of and see if they can help. Look at the rookies on the defensive side. Renardo Green and Mustafa continue to get better with reps. They continue to get better each time they play. I think given the opportunity and putting Jacob Cowing out there and Ricky Purcell, they're only going to get better with reps. And at this point, I would even trust Jacob Cowing a little bit more than Ricky Parcell because he's been involved a little bit more. Do you see them being used more by Kyle going forward now that Brandon Ayuk is out for the year? Or do you think he's going to lean more on the old vet, Chris Conley? I think that's his name.
I think now we all know how Kyle loves those vets.
Yeah, we do.
But when it comes
What's up,
to
King?
what they're capable of doing, Cowing and Ricky Parcell are faster than Debo and Ayuk.
What's up, Rick?
And, like they're literally faster. They're faster than Conley. And at this
What's
point,
up,
I
Jim
haven't
Everett?
like during this game, Conley had a lot of snaps, and I didn't see a lot of production out of him. So, from this the reason of necessity, he's gonna have to play Ricky Purcell and Jacob Cowing more snaps. And I'm a big fan of having a speedy guy down the field because
What's up, Willie?
you know Beto. You've watched football for years. The offense gets a speedy guy just bolting down the field. The quarterback lets it rip. Now the defense is going, okay, even if he misses it, the defense is going, we have to respect that. That guy beat us. He was wide open. The quarterback missed him. We got lucky, but we have to respect the long ball. And that's going to open up everything underneath for the dinks, the dunks, the mid-range, short-range yardage, the small chunks that could turn into big chunks if someone breaks a tackle or makes someone miss, right? So, there's effects to having a guy like Jacob Cowing out there. Ricky Purcell, he is a good route runner. And, for his first game, I actually thought he had a decent showing. We haven't seen anything of him because of the injuries in the preseason. And then, unfortunately, he got shot while some guy was trying to rob him.
Oh, yeah. The fact that he played yesterday,
he's already had a rough start.
Wow. Yeah.
He's already had a rough start. But, at this point, it's a necessity, We're going to see more of Juwan Jennings, right? So, and, Kyle, at this point, needs to sprinkle the kids in just to change things up and try to keep the defense off guard. Because now you don't have an Ayuk who's an excellent route runner. You don't have him out there. He's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, but he's an excellent route runner. He can get separation. And Purcell being just a hair bigger and a hair faster should be able to provide that. Jacob Cowing's not the biggest guy, but he's quick and shifty. He's kind of that gadget guy that we need. So I expect our offense to kind of evolve with Ayuk gone to what we've done in the past. Kyle's going to have no choice, right?
You would think Kyle will implement these two receivers into the lineup out of necessity and see what we have. I like Jacob Cowing. I liked him from when he got drafted from Arizona. The kid is shifty. He's quick. He makes his people miss. I would like to see more screens with this kid. I want to see more screens. I want to beat the ball, just dump it to him, and let's see what he can do. And I want to see more Isaac Guerrero in there. Start playing these guys. Listen, I don't think our season's over by any means. Did it get tougher? Absolutely. Do I think we're a Super Bowl caliber team right now? No, I don't. I think there's a lot of things that still need to get fixed in order for us to get to that point. Can we go and beat Dallas next week? Dallas is terrible, but to be honest with you, David, even if we beat Dallas, it doesn't matter to me. It matters in the win column because we don't want to keep falling backwards. But it doesn't impress me beating Dallas. Beating someone like the Chiefs, impressing. Beating someone like Green Bay in Green Bay is going to impress me. Beating someone like Buffalo in Buffalo is going to be teams that I need to see the Niners step up and do better and play better. I love Kyle. Listen, I am not for trading Kyle or cutting him or firing him. There is not another coach out there available with enough resume, in my opinion, David, they can come in and take Kyle's place. There isn't. Now, with that said, does Kyle need to change certain things? Yes. Does he need to get his head out of his butt? He does. Is this greatness his own? What's the word? Help me out, David. What I'm looking for here?
Weakness.
His own weakness. Thank you. I love when we work like that, David. I love that. Yeah. Is his own greatness his own weakness? Does he get in his own way? What is it with Kyle? Because Kyle's a genius. He makes some great play calls. And when the players are executing what he calls, everything works great. But can you adjust when things are not working the way you set up the game plan? But at this point, I'm going to be rough on Kyle. I don't think Kyle is coaching very well to this point. But is there a moment for me, and I want to ask you the same question, David, do I want to fire Kyle? Absolutely not. There is not a coach out there that is available. And for my sake of his sanity, don't give me potential offensive coaches that could potentially be good. We're in a season that we need to win games. Don't give me a potential coach. I need to know, like, if they were going to bring in the coach from the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, I'm all for it. Let's go.
Oh, boy.
Let's go. Okay, I have no qualms about that. But if you're going to tell me you're going to bring the kid from the Detroit Lions, Ben, just because he's executing the offense very well doesn't mean you're going to be a great overall head coach. How many offensive coordinators that are just amazing as coordinators, but then they go out and become head coach and they suck. They can't handle the extra load. There's one coach that comes to mind. We had him for a year when we drafted Alex Smith. He was the Chargers head coach at one time. Please help me out, David. Again, you're good at history.
Oh my goodness.
He's the one
I even know
he
who
introduced
you're talking about.
Troy Aikman when he went into the Hall of Fame. He was quarterback's coach. I can't think of his name, but I think you know who I'm talking about.
He's famous for the West Coast offense.
Yes.
North Turner.
North Turner, thank you. Great, amazing offensive coach. Terrible head coach. So to my point is, the guy Ben from the Detroit Lions, can he come in and be a good head coach for the Niners? I don't know. Are you willing to take that risk? Would you bring in Ben right now over Kyle? And give me your truth opinion on that, David.
I honestly don't think that the Lions offensive coordinator would fix all our problems.
Come on now.
It's hard to say who will be a good head coach in the NFL because like Dan Campbell for the Detroit Lions, we're talking about him. I'm going to use him as an example. A lot of sports commentators and analysts said this guy's not going to be a good head coach.
Yep, I remember that.
But they said that, guys that are in other places like Robert Saleh Like poor Robert Saleh, I honestly don't think he got a fair shot with New
No.
York.
When they brought in Aaron Rodgers, not to interrupt you, and I apologize. When they brought in Aaron Rodgers and he took over that team, to me that was the end of Robert Saleh because he had to get rid of his own, the brother of the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. Right now, I'm bad with names. He brought him over as the offensive coordinator. They had to get rid of him so they can accommodate that idiot that now he got demoted and with the Jets because of Aaron Rodgers. So I agree with you. I think once they brought in Aaron Rodgers there, I felt bad for our boy, man, Saleh. I think it was the end. It was the beginning of the end for me.
And like when it comes to coaching, I honestly think that's kind of the problem with our team right now. It's not necessarily, I mean, the talent's there, the football talent's there, but how many assistant coaches and coordinators and all the guys that are in the trenches with the players, how many of these guys can we lose before there's a severe drop off? And over the last, since 2021, when we went 10-6 and went to the NFC Championship game and lost, since that year we've been losing guys, like Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniels, D'Amico Ryans, the Kubiak that's currently the New Orleans offensive coordinator. And I'm sure I'm forgetting like 8 different people here. I know for a fact I am. But how many people can we actually lose before there is a coaching drop off? And I honestly think that's what we're seeing here. This next week, beating the Cowboys might not make everyone beat their chest and say we're the best. No, it's not going to make us say that. But we still got to beat the Cowboys for the sake of the old school rivalry.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then go into the bye week and go to the team that a lot of people are discounting because they're in the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Tampa. That's going to be a tough game right there.
Yes.
And I'm honestly looking at that week. Like that week could be potentially when we get CMC back.
That'll be our first game after the bye.
Running the ball
You're right.
25 times? No, he's not going to be. They're not going to just throw him to the dogs and be like, "Here's your same workload you were last year."
They're going to ramp him up.
But he's gonna be splitting some time with Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason has earned it to this point.
100% agree.
But then when does a guy like something that would help our defense greatly, getting Greenlaw back?
Yes.
We still don't have a timetable on when that's going to happen.
Yeah. That's tough. Campbell has been trash.
I mean, yeah. He had a couple games where I was like, okay, he's coming around. But then the last couple games, it's like.
And it's not his fault, David.
Can't get off a block. You're not wrapping people up. Like, what's going on here?
It's not his fault, bro. People want to blame Campbell. Listen, I blame John for that because he's old. He's not in his prime anymore. People have said White is available. He's in the same predicament in age. These guys were once great players. They're not no more. But I'll be honest, if you offered me the money they offered Campbell to play, I would do it. I would suck, but I would do it. Do I blame Campbell? No. I think that's why the Niners were trying to get the kid that went to Dallas because to me, he is a better linebacker than Campbell was. But then the idiot opted to leave to Dallas. The Niners were kind of left with their hands in the air, so they had no choice to go after Campbell. But Campbell was not their first choice. So they just had to fall to him by default. So Greenlaw is greatly missed. I hope he comes back. But, David, even if Greenlaw comes back, what version of Greenlaw are we getting?
And that's yet to be seen. A lot of guys come back from an Achilles injury, and they're not the same player. Some guys come back and they are the same player. So we won't know until we see him on the field, hitting someone.
Yeah.
Right. And this is something I'm very much looking forward to. He's a free agent this next offseason. If he comes back and he is what he was before, we're going to have a problem keeping him. Because teams like D'Amico Ryans, you don't think D'Amico Ryans is going to go, I'll take him. That's the primary landing spot. The Tennessee Titans, too, they have one of our front office guys over there.
Yep.
Oh, the Washington Commanders, which I still don't like that name. The Washington football team.
Yeah, that's better.
I preferred that over
I call them the
Commanders
Redskins.
big time.
I don't care what people say. They're the Redskins.
They'll always be the Redskins. They will. They will always be the Redskins.
Being political correct, I don't care. They're the Redskins for me. I swear I grew up watching the Hogs.
Yep.
And the only reason why I still call them the Redskins, David, not to go on to another place, but it's because even the people, the Indian descent people, don't care. They want them to be called. Now, they're not being offended by this. If that was the case, then I would, out of respect for the Indians, I wouldn't call them Redskins either. But they're like, call them. They were actually glad they were called it. It's just because of all the woke crap going around that everything has to be correctly and whatever. But that's not even a conversation for sports. Actually, it's more political. But
believe it or not, Beto, there's an organization currently suing for them to get their name back because they honestly have no problem with it, and they're Native Americans.
Yes, they don't have a problem. I couldn't think of that name. Thank you for correcting. Native American.
Oh, you're good. You're good. But yeah, they are. They're suing them because they want them to be the Redskins. They're under new ownership. You never know what's going to happen this offseason, right?
Yep.
Yes, Brandy, it was. I'm just going to say it. It was woke white people.
That's what I love about David McNiner.
It was, Yeah, I got a shaved head. That don't mean nothing.
Oh, no, bro. You are.
It's a haircut, folks. It's clean.
Anybody that would ever even indicate that you're any type of racist, I will punch him myself. David is down to earth. Dude, the dude is white on the outside, but he's Mexican, Chinese, black, every nationality in the inside. The guy is just a great guy, man. I love David. And I mean that sincerely, bro. I would be the first one to knock somebody out if they ever even suggest anything disrespectful like that. Because you never but you're right. The woke white people have, and if you get offended by this, then you need to be offended. You're probably one of those white people that did this. Because if you're not, David, are you offended when he said that? Because he's not that. Thank you. So if you get offended by the white people statement, then you probably fall in that category, and shame on you. You should be offended. Real quick, Jason, Captain Niners in the house. What's up, my brother, my Uso, my Samoan.
What's up, buddy?
Brother or Islander. How you doing, sir? Welcome. So the Niners lost to the Chiefs. We are moving on as we're getting closer to the hour. We're moving on to the Dallas Cowboys. In your opinion, David, what do the Niners need to do to get a dub against the Cowboys? Now, the Cowboys have no run game. They're one-dimensional. Their defense is not good. But any team can win on any given Sunday. You can't take nobody lightly because it'll backfire on you. What do the Niners need to do, in your opinion, specifically, to get a dub over the Cowgirls?
Well, defensively, I'm honestly thinking take Campbell off the field. They make D. Winters our second linebacker. Let's just play nickel. Let's play nickel. Diamador Lenore on the inside. He is just as good as any linebacker there is. All right. He'll get up in there. He'll get up in the trenches. He'll make a hit. He'll make the guy think he's getting hit by a linebacker. So, and we have the corners to do this. We can bring Renardo Green in, let him play opposite of Ward on the outside, bring Lenore in, let him play the nickel / linebacker 3, let him play a hybrid. I bet he would enjoy that, but you throw this at the Cowboys, they're not going to know what to do with it. Our offense, just do what we do, run the ball, dink and dunk, let's bring the Yak boys back. And, no more Ayuk for the rest of the season. It is there's nothing anyone can do about it. All we can do
is it is. Absolutely.
Sit back,
football.
hope for the best for the guy.
Yes. Keep him in our prayers. Yes.
Yep. And I mean, it's honestly going to be, I would be surprised if they had the surgery pretty quick. It might be a couple weeks because you have to wait for the swelling to go down. So, so be patient, folks. Be patient.
Let me ask you a question as we come to a close, and you've been an amazing guest. I would love to have you back more often, David. I love you're realistic. You're down to earth. You speak your mind. You don't sugarcoat things. You're not a homer by any means, and I like that about you. So I'm gonna ask you this for the viewers that are watching, and then before we go, everyone, don't leave because I want to get all the information on David, on how you can find him, support his channel. Many of you probably already subscribed, but we need to support each other and our Niner content creators around the internet. So, David, you can only bring one big name to the Niners before the trade deadline. 1, a receiver. 2, a defensive end. Or 3, a D tackle. Out of those 3 positions, where do you think? First, I want 2 questions. I want to get your answer, your personal opinion, which direction the Niners should go. And then I want to get your opinion on which direction the Niners will go if they go that route.
Well, I got one name, Max Crosby.
Come on now. I would love to see him. Oh, him and Nick Bosa. Oh my
man.
God.
Didn't you just kind of bring in Leonard Floyd to spell those two? Oh, my goodness. Watch out.
Oh, my. Do you know that real quick, and I'm going to continue to have you finish your answer. Do you know that would have been a possibility? You know, when we drafted Nick Bosa, the Niners were going to pull the trigger on Max Crosby in the 4th round, but the Raiders jumped in front of us and took him because they were afraid that we were going to take him. So damn the Raiders for that. But anyway, go ahead and proceed, bro. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And as for what way they're going to go, I honestly, with the reinforcements we have coming back with CMC and Greenlaw, we're going to have Yetur Gross-Matos come off of IR at some point too, right? I could see them. A lot of people are throwing DJ Jones out there, but with our current interior group, Malik Collins, Kalia Davis, he's not going to get a lot of sacks, but he's going to hold his ground and plug that. He's going to plug that hole and eat 2 linemen up. He's going to do his job. That's all we are. That's all we need.
What a play he did yesterday! Deflected the ball and intercepted it himself.
Yeah. And then you got Kevin Gibbons. He's playing pretty good football right now. And you sprinkle in that guy Jordan Elliott.
Yeah.
he's also pretty. I don't think we need anything like interior defensively. So I could see us trading for a wide receiver, just kind of like the best guys on the market are kind of mid though, like
that's the truth too.
Giants. There's a guy with Green Bay who's incredibly speedy, but he's not getting much playing time because he's just buried on their depth chart. They got Dobbs back now. I can't remember the guy's name though, but Yes, Captain Evan Anderson. That's a guy I want to see more of because we're gonna. I get the feeling he's going to be
He
around for about.
demands automatically two defenders on him. He reminds me
Yes.
of Dana Stubblefield when he was in there, always demanding two offensive line on him. I like this kid.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
has
raw.
that burst. He's that nose tackle type that we've needed the whole time.
He's just very raw,
know.
and that's why he's not in there as much as we would want him to. But he's getting better. I like that kid, and I agree with you.
Yep.
Max Crosby, man, 120% I agree with you. I would love to see that personality. I would love to see T.J. Watt. Listen, my three top, and people are gonna boo me for this, but hey, so be it. I don't care. My three top defensive ends right now: T.J. Watt, Max Crosby, and Nick Bosa, in that order. Me. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from Nick Bosa. I love me Nick Bosa, but the passion that T.J. Watt and Max Crosby play is like no other. No other. They disrupt plays. Now, Bosa's not that far behind. But if you can match up Max Crosby next to Nick Bosa, OMG. It's what we wanted with Leonard Floyd. And Leonard Floyd has not been playing bad football. He just has not been that burst of because we're trying to recreate in somewhat the 2019, right? Where we had
Yes. D Ford.
D Ford, thank you. D Ford and Nick Bosa. You saw the dominance that it even made the job easier for DeForest Buckner and what's his name? The one that left, and I feel bad for him. He is struggling over there with the Jaguars.
Eric Armstead. I don't think. I think he's struggling to even hit the field at this point.
Yeah. That was a great move. Letting people are like, he's worth $6 million. What the Niners are? Where are those people now? Where are those people? Do you imagine if we? Yeah, bro. So, listen, we have our opinions. We are entitled to our opinions, but there's a reason why John Lynch and Kyle get paid the money they get paid, and not me. I won't even put you guys in that box, but that's why I'm not the GM, because I have my opinions, but their history, they know what they're doing. Do they hit everything right? No. Did they get the Solomon Thomas pick? No. Did they get the Reuben Foster pick right? No. The trade for Trey Lance, they didn't get that right, but I give them credit for trying to get a quarterback, the balls to do it. I give them credit for that. They're lucky that Brock Purdy fell in their lap, but don't forget about the George Kittles. Don't forget about the Greenlaws. Don't forget about Fred Warner in the third round. Don't forget about these players that have been Hufanga when he's healthy, all pro. These players are drafted by the Niners. So if you look at the all history where there are some question mark picks, and the Reuben Foster was not a bad pick. It's just the dude couldn't just keep it right on the field. That was his issue. This is why they get paid. The money they get paid. The Niners are going to be okay. Are they Super Bowl contenders right now? I don't think they are. Can they be? We shall see. Can they beat the Cowboys? Absolutely. Can they win? Can they make the playoffs? Do they have a chance of winning the division? Absolutely. The division is not strong. It's not strong. Matter of fact, the NFC West is one of the weakest, if not the weakest, division in the NFC conference. Wouldn't want to be in the North right now, that's for sure. But, David, let us know where they can find you, what you got going on throughout the week, every week. And let all the viewers that are seeing now or those that are going to see the replay, where they can find you and what your activities during the week for you.
Well, you can find me on David McNiner. That's my YouTube channel. And that's actually what I go by on X if you want to follow me there, folks. Believe it or not, here in about 38 minutes at 5 o'clock p.m. PST, I'm going to be live on my channel with Ty Austin. And it's a weekly thing. We rotate. So this week it's me. Next week it's going to be on his channel. And
Bro,
then
sorry for keeping you.
Oh, you're good. You're good, buddy. Wednesday, we have the NFL Pick'em stream, Corey Davis 49er Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this is going to be ongoing forever. I will not let my friend's name pass away. No. Corey Davis was a great man.
You are a better man than me, David. I appreciate that.
And believe it or not, I don't know if you've ever heard of Jackbox TV games, but we get quite the thing going on Friday nights. So it's typically a very long stream where we play a bunch of different games, and it gets kind of challenging. So, but if you want to come check it out, please do, folks. Every Sunday morning, I will do a pregame for the 49ers. And if it's on a Thursday, I'll probably do that pregame on a Tuesday, maybe a Wednesday. We'll see.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check that out. Wednesdays for me is church, midday church night, and then on Fridays it's family time with the wife and kids. And I always say, doing live media is wonderful, but I always encourage everyone to put your family, always invest in your family. That's never a wrong thing to do. But with that said, Corey Davis, we miss you, man. We love you. I give you props, David. You do definitely. I'm not going to lie, bro. I'm not a good person. I don't like to, I don't know how to say this. Like my own mom, most of my family's already gone with the Lord, and my dad, my mom. I lost my mom in the 201 and the North Tower when it went down. She was in the North Tower. So, but I don't think of people. I'm like, I don't know if it's a gift or it's a curse. People take it the way you take it, but out of mind, out of sight, out of mind thing for me. So if you're not in my mind, if I'm not seeing you, I'm not thinking of you, and I don't want to seem like I'm harsh, but that's just how I work. My wife always says that when she's gone, I'm going to forget her in the next 20 minutes of her being gone. I can't argue whether I can or will not, but I do see you, David. I do see the rest of you keeping his memory alive, and I commend you for that. You are an amazing individual, all of you. I don't show up on Fridays or on Wednesdays, but I always, if you look at, not that you have to look at my shows, but I'm always bringing that up occasionally on my shows to go support you guys and try to do my best that way. But I commend you, David, for keeping Corey. Corey was a wonderful man. I am blessed that I got to meet him when I got to meet you in person. That day we went to San Francisco. We drove around. Because of my disability, we did more driving than walking. But nevertheless, I got to spend time with my brother Corey, and something that I'll keep the rest. So I commend you for keeping his memory alive, brother. Thank you for everything you do, man. Appreciate you. So everyone, make sure to follow his channel, David McNiner. Not McNugget if you're hungry. Okay, not McChicken, but McNiner. So make sure to support him. Make sure to follow him. And if you knew Corey or of Corey, go support Corey by following David. They're always they're keeping Corey's memory alive in the universe of social media. David, I got to bring you back on. I'm talking again too much. My uncle said that I can talk the ears off a wooden Indian. Okay, so that tells you that. But you got a show to actually host in 30 minutes, brother. I completely forgot about that. I'm going to let you go. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for my beautiful sis, Dawn, an amazing mother of two beautiful kids, an amazing wife to her Raider husband. Boo. But everyone in the chat that came through, love you all. You guys are the true MVP. Without you, we are nothing. I am nothing. So I appreciate you guys. Until the next show, I am your boy, Niner Sickness. This is my brother from a different mother, David McNiner. We will see you. God bless. Have a wonderful day. And make sure at 5 o'clock, if you're available, tune in to his channel for a great show. With that said, God bless and good night. Peace. Let's go Niners.